My entire life on Chromebook. Okay, this is my Chromebook that I've had for 2 years, and essentially all of my important documents are on this Chromebook. And I've essentially gone 100% cloud computing, I guess you could call it. It's my only device, and it's all I've ever used for 2 years now. And I have to say that everything that I could do on a Windows or Mac computer, I can do on here, except professional video editing. But there are some platforms on here that you could use to do all that, but 95, maybe even 99% of everything that you need to do in the computing world, you can do on here. I've run spreadsheets on here. I've actually run spreadsheets upwards of like 20,000, actually even like 100,000 rows. And see, this isn't the best Chromebook that you can get. So it started to struggle on things like that. But that's the only time I ever really kind of saw a hiccup. I would say if you're looking to get into the cloud computing world, you can get into it with a Chromebook, no problem. I was in an executive role, and I remember working at a startup, and yeah, it was all Chromebook. Nothing else. Everyone was using Macs. I was using a Chromebook. It's kind of odd, but the reality is you can work offline. It has its own file system. It's pretty basic. It's got its own storage, so it runs really fast. It does everything you need for internet browsing. You can watch YouTube on there, all that good stuff. So I think there's this misconception that you can't do anything on a Chromebook, but that's really just not the case. I find that serious, productive people can do work on a Chromebook. And for 2 years, I've proven that. So definitely go with that. Of course, you can argue, well, aren't you recording this video on an iPhone? So that means your computing isn't entirely on a Chromebook? Correct. Although before, I was recording webcam shots with the Chromebook. Problem is the webcam was of low quality. This is a little bit better quality. So I thought, well, yeah, you could record video with this. So if you really wanted to get extreme, you could technically get rid of your phone. But the actual serious computing work that I do, which is essentially on the internet, it's all cloud, I can do on here. I remember I was doing an email marketing job, and we used a program called Canva, and I could do graphic design on that platform, and that is a 100% cloud program, so you could do everything on there. So that eliminated the need to use Adobe Illustrator, and I learned how to use Adobe Illustrator a long time ago on a Mac, and I haven't really come across the need to use it anymore. So interesting, because you've got Google Apps on here, which you can run pretty much anything. You can use Google Docs. Yeah, I see a lot of authors that I've come across recently, and they are using Microsoft Word for doing word processing. And a lot of them have claimed that they wrote a massive document on Microsoft Word, and then their computer crashed. And it was like a 20,000 word novel that they were working on, and they were like almost done, and then their computer crashed, and they lost the entire file. All their work, all gone. So everything that they did is just out the window, because they're running on a program that doesn't require the internet. or it doesn't autosave. Now, maybe it does now, or maybe they have an old version of Microsoft Word. I don't know. But you see, all of these problems would go away if you just operate off of Google Docs, which is the equivalent of Microsoft Word. You probably might miss a few technical things by moving to Google Docs. But I'm telling you, since I moved to Google Docs 2 or 3 years ago, it's been nice knowing that the autosave feature is there. And you can also work offline with Google Docs. But the fact is you can autosave. So when you do have the internet with you, then you're set. So that's what I like about that. Another thing that I think is important is having your files backed up, just in general. You see, with a Chromebook, you have everything in the cloud. Like I have it saved in this storage, cloud storage called Google Drive. So everything is saved. I don't have to worry. But if you have a hard drive or whatever, everything's saved on local storage, well, you better have things saved on like a backup hard drive because you could lose everything. But for me, I don't have any backup hard drive. I don't have any of that because everything is saved in the cloud. So I have servers that take care of everything. And it's great. So if I'm looking at all of this, I would say grab a Chromebook and see if it works for you. It's working for me, and I don't see any need to go anywhere else with my computing. I might perhaps update this in a couple of years, but after 2 years, I can't say that I'm missing out on anything. And we're talking about running businesses here as well. You can run an entire business on a Chromebook, no problem whatsoever. Anyone that says, but what about this or what about that? There's likely an app for that. There's likely a Chrome app or some sort of app for it, just like with the iPhone. I remember when the iPhone was first released, everyone was like, there's no app for that. Well, and then eventually it was like, there is an app for that. There's an app for everything. Well, it's the same with Chromebooks. There's an app for everything. So you'll be fine. And in terms of cost effectiveness, you really can't beat it. And I don't really want to just plug Chromebooks. You can have an argument for any sort of platform. I am platform agnostic, but I'm also a minimalist and a simple individual, and I can't think of a device that's any simpler than a Chromebook. You might find shortcomings though. If you're doing serious professional editing work, I just don't think a Chromebook has what you'll need. And for that, I'd recommend a powerful computer. Other than that, I honestly can't say that I'm missing out on anything. So if you're about to go to school, or you have a new job, or you're looking at a new computer, take a look at the Chromebooks. Although I was in Best Buy recently, or Walmart or somewhere, and I noticed that Chromebooks still have a very small chunk of the retail space there. There's still a lot of Windows and Mac taking up the majority of the computer world, which is kind of a shame, because I think there should be more Chromebook devices out there. I think there should be more of a push on it, but there seems to be this issue around offline use, and there's a huge marketing issue around pushing people past that, because it's not really the case. It's really not the case at all. How often are you ever doing work offline? It's likely almost never the case. Most people have an internet connection. But the thing is, even if you didn't have an internet connection, you can still use a Chromebook. It has offline abilities. But the problem is, they didn't market it like that at the beginning. And now, Google or whoever is trying to get these Chrome OS type devices out there, they're now battling this misconception. And there's a lot of PR that's going to have to happen in order to get people comfortable with using the device. Unfortunate, but that's the reality. I wish more people would give it a shot, because I think it's really amazing. Yes, it's really amazing indeed. But that's okay. I will continue on my path of simple computing, of efficient computing, because I think that is a smart approach. If you need additional stuff, then definitely check out the other platforms. No question. I'm not really against the other platforms. What I'm a little disappointed in is if somebody ends up getting an expensive computer, but they don't need any of the features that that computer offers. It's a shame that people would do that, because what they're going to find out is everything that they bought is unnecessary. And then they're going to be wondering, oh, why did I get such a complicated computer? I don't even use any of this stuff on here, platforms and whatnot. It's like some senior that buys a computer with Adobe Creative Suite, Microsoft Access, or significant video editing programs like Final Cut Pro, stuff like that. You get some senior going in there who's not even using any of it. It just blows my mind. But I've seen salespeople selling seniors on expensive gaming computers. Yeah, I've seen that quite often, where they just want to make a big sale. And a gaming laptop is definitely the way to go. That's what I see a lot of employees doing. You see, the employee doesn't really care about your needs. They only care about the sale. Some of them get commissions. So that's what you really got to watch out for. And I know they try their best to maybe understand your base level needs, but then they're like, for a headache-free experience, we'll just load you up with the computer that has all the bells and whistles. It's super heavy, it's super bulky, but hey, it'll last forever. That's not really the case, because on the inside, it's the same as any other computer. You see, this Chromebook I've had, and I think it'll last for a long time. I mean, I treat my devices well. It's like, how well do you treat your devices? It could last for a very long time. So, I mean, especially if you're a senior, a Chromebook is like the best option. Or maybe you're somebody who doesn't know anything about computers. I honestly think a Chromebook takes away all of the complicated learning that you would maybe have to do if you got like a Windows computer. Because these devices get simpler and simpler every single time I use it. They have automatic updates, no viruses, none of that stuff. It runs as fast as it did 2 years ago. I can't say the same about that for any other kind of computer. But the question is what do you use it for, right? If you're just browsing the internet and you need something that has a keyboard, well, this is cheaper than an iPad. It's cheaper than a typical laptop. And it runs faster, so you're probably better off. Although, I do have to say, the iPads, you get an iPad with a keyboard, I do like that option. But be prepared for the fact that there's no mouse. So if you really want to get serious about editing documents, I just think that would be a headache, trying to edit with a mouse. But people do it. People have gone to just an iPad with a computer keyboard attached to it, and it works. And that's maybe all you need there too. It's just, what I really don't understand is if you get a laptop and an iPad, I just don't understand why you'd have both. They have like similar functions now. But I'm happy with a simple approach. I hop on the internet, I'm good to go with this. And you'll be likely in the same boat as me. So that's my entire life in the last 2 years with a Chromebook, and I have nothing but good things to say. I haven't run into too many issues. If I was a video editor, I'd have concerns, but I don't edit videos, so not a problem. Yeah. Give it a shot, give it a try, check it out. I am not affiliated with this in any way, and I'm not going to be sharing any affiliate links. That's what Google is for. I'm just here to just share my experience. Yeah. Because I'm one of the few people out there that has actually used a Chromebook for 2 years. Maybe not a lot of people out there who can be long-term case studies of this. And we're talking exclusively for computing. I'm the test scenario here. I'm the one that's decided to just stick with Chromebook for 2 years. And I literally have no other devices. So did I get a pat on the back? No. I mean, my life is very easy and simple by going in this direction. It's very relaxing. No headaches, no blue screens of death, no software updates that affect what I'm doing, no losing my 20,000 word novel that I'm writing up. Yeah. And another step that I forgot to mention, I even wrote and illustrated 61 children's books on this device. 61 children's books. So, I mean, how do you explain that? I can't even explain how I did that, but I did it all on a Chromebook. So, if you're an artist, you could even draw. Now, mine has like a touch screen, so I was able to do some additional things. But to be honest, you can still use a mouse and you can draw on here. It has drawing apps. It has a bunch of things. And it's actually getting better and better. Google released something new called Google Canvas, and it's really slick. You can draw like in chalk and markers. I even did a book on chalk and markers. It's just all digital chalk and markers. I made the entire book using the Chromebook, just drawing with my finger. It was really fun. And I know iPad's got something that's probably quicker and faster. Keep in mind, if you're on a budget, maybe that's not in the wheelhouse. Because an iPad is more expensive than most Chromebooks. So that's something to keep in mind. But it's crazy that I'm able to, I can just write up a book and there we go. The one downfall, because this is so specific and so niche, the one downfall is I wasn't able to upload my children's book to Amazon because Amazon hasn't released software for Chromebook where you can upload children's books. Something so basic and so niche. It's probably not related to most people out there. But there's an app called Kindle Kids Creator, something like that, Kids Book Creator, and it's released by Amazon. And the only way that you can use the platform is if you have Windows or Mac. I found a workaround though, which is interesting. So if you have a Chromebook with an Intel processor, unfortunately mine does not, but I tested it out. If you have an Intel processor, you can run this Kindle Kids Creator thing through a Chromebook running an Intel processor, because you can actually mirror Windows. So you can run Windows on that Chromebook with Intel processor. I don't know why it has to be an Intel processor, but that's what I was told, and that's what worked when I tested it out. Because there's this app, a Chrome app, I don't know what it's called, but something Weaver or something. Anyway, you can Google it. It's an app where you can have Windows running on your Chromebook, and it's a free app. You can actually get it for free. Get a trial version and have it run for free. But it's really handy because I was able to use Kindle Kids Creator and it worked flawlessly. No issues whatsoever. The catch is, of course, you have to run an Intel processor. But hey, there's lots of Chromebooks with Intel processors, so not a problem. But yeah, so it's got little nifty things like that, and it's just so cool that you can find those things and you can run those apps. So there's always an app for that, you know? Yeah. But it was fun. I had a wonderful experience for the last 2 years. Aside from a few hiccups with running spreadsheets that are massive and the Kindle Kids Creator thing, I was highly productive with this. And on the occasion, rare occasion that I did have to use the Kids Creator thing, I just use a computer that my parents had or somebody else had. I just use someone else's computer. And it was rarely ever a problem, though. We're talking once every 6 to 12 months, so I can't say it really affected my overall productivity. Because if I look at the overall trade-offs, my 95% of computing has sped up significantly because of my exclusive use of the Chromebook. So if you look at that, well, it might be worthwhile for you. Cut down all the stuff you don't need and just stick with the Chromebook. If you run everything in Google's Google Drive system, you got a bunch of files and you run it all through there, perfect. You'll be good if you're on the Google ecosystem. If you're on the Mac or Apple or Windows ecosystem, you could switch over. I switched over. I had Mac, I had Windows, I had it all. And I switched everything over to Chromebook. And wasn't a problem. Wasn't a problem at all. There we go. That's my life on Chromebook. Not my entire life. I'm 30. I'm 30 now. But it's not my entire life on a Chromebook. It's only just the last 2 years. But my entire life in the last 2 years has been on a Chromebook. So I'm going to have to rejig the title of this video. I don't know. But whatever. I'll go with it. So thanks for tuning in. Toodles. Until next time.